Okay, so can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
All right, so just wait a second. All right, so how about giving me a thumbs up, just to let me know that you guys are already in front of your computer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so maybe half of you were already in front of your computers or smartphone. So let us continue now our discussion. So again, I'll give you guys 30 seconds to 1 minute, okay, to verify whether you've really understood this one or no. So let me know if which part you didn't understand, okay, so that we can go over on that one and discuss that one again. All right, so how was it? How about giving me again a thumbs up for those who were able to understand this one and how do we convert decimal to binary conversion? Okay, Bang Egg, Adrian, Giovanni, Christian, Miss Kyla, Miss Emily, Christian, Jordan Angelo, Rex Fernandez, okay, Haniel Jordan. All right, so I guess most of you were able to follow this one on how did we get 1101 as our final answer. Okay, so let's have more example. So find 37 base 10 into binary. Okay, so it is asking us to convert this one from decimal into binary. So again, just copy that one. 37 divided by 2 is 18, remainder 1. And then just copy this one as it is. So 18 divided by 2 is 9, remainder 0. And 9 divided by 2 is 4, remainder 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2, remainder 0. And then 2 divided by 2 is 1, remainder 0. And then for the last one, so 1 divided by 2 is cannot be. So just put here 0, and then whatever is the final value of this one, just put it on the remainder side. Okay, and then once this one is already 0, then that's the time that you will stop dividing the integer quotient. Okay, and then you may now start reading the results in remainder, so from bottom to top, so 1 0 0 1 0 1, that will serve as your final answer. Okay, so clear so far with this example? Is it so there's a question. So, sir, is it possible to get a negative answer? No. Okay. So you will never get a negative answer in this one. However, okay, however, of course we can perform, let's say, binary minus binary, wherein it's possible for you to be able to get a negative number. Okay. But that one will be on maybe slide 40 or slide 50. So yeah, we also have negative numbers in binary. Okay, but in here, none for now. Everything's positive. Okay, so are we clear with this one? How about giving me again a thumbs up, just to let me know that you guys were able to understand this one? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How about you, Miss Hidayah and Miss Denny Cruzan? All right, so maybe she's not in front of her computer right now. Anyway, all right, so that's good that most of you were able to get this one. So let's have one more example. So convert this 2010 base 10 to octal. So in here we now have a divisor of 8. So 2010 divided by 8. So in here, you're now going to need a calculator. Okay. So just type 2010 divided by 8. So you will get here 251.25. Okay. So just put here 251 and then you can get the 0.25. So 0.25 multiply it to our divisor. Okay. Times 8, then that will serve as our remainder. So 0.25 times 8 is 2. Then just put here 2. Okay. And then 251 divided by 8. So in my calculator, I've got an answer of 31.375. So just put here 31 for the integer quotient. And then you can get the 0.375, multiply it by 8, then you will get 3 as a whole number. So just put it right here on the remainder. And then 31 divided by 8 is 3. So 8, 16, 24. So 31 minus 24 is 7. So that is our remainder. And then 3 divided by 8 is cannot be. So just put here 0, and then whatever is the final result in here or in the integer quotient, just copy as it is as your remainder. So again, once this one now is 0, then that's the time that you will stop dividing the integer quotient. And then you may now start reading the remainder from bottom to top. So 3732 base 8. Okay, so are we clear so far? Were you guys able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, Miss Emily and Mr. Jordan. How about the others?
Opo, sir.
Okay, good, Mr. Adrian and Mr. Ramji also, very good. All right, so I hope the others were also able to get this one, because if not, then you have the right to ask me. Like for example, sir, how did we get that one? How did we blah 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 and so on and so forth. So yeah, feel free to ask me any question that you might have right now, because the earlier that we can give solution to your questions, the better. All right. So anyway, again, uh, if you're quite shy to answer questions, you can message me anytime to my Canvas account, as long as I'm free. Okay, because there are times that I'm busy wherein I wasn't able to read the messages of my students. All right. So another example. Oops, where did we stop? 2010 to octal. And then we have another example right here. We're in the same 2010, but our divisor now is 16. Okay, it's asking us to convert this one decimal to hexadecimal. So 2010 divided by 16, you will get 125.625. So just put here 125 and then 0.625 times 16, then that will serve as your remainder. So 10, or in hexadecimal, 10 is equal to 8. So just put here 8. So just copy this 1 and then multiply it by 16. Not multiply, divide it by 16. Okay, 125 divided by 16. So I've got here 7.8125, so 7 for the integer quotient, and then 0.8125 times 16, will be your remainder. So 13 is has an equivalent of letter D in hexadecimal. So just put your D. And then 7 divided by 16 is cannot be. So just put here 0, and then whatever is the last number, just put it as your remainder. And then again, once this 1 became 0, then that's the time that you will stop dividing the integer quotient. Then you can now read the remainder from bottom to top. So 7DA base 16. Okay. So I hope you guys were able to get this one. So next example right here is 2010 divided by 12. So I was able to get a result of 167.5. So 167 right here, and then 0.5 times 12 will serve as our remainder. So just half of 12 is 6. And then 167 divided by 12 again is 13 point something. 167 divided by 12 is 13.916667. So just get the fraction part. 916667 times 12, we'll get here 11. Okay, or 11 point something. And 13 divided by 12 is 1, remainder 1, and then 1 divided by 12 is cannot be, so once this 1 is 0, then that's the time you will stop dividing the integer quotient, and then just copy whatever is the last value of the integer quotient as your remainder. Okay, and then that is now your final answer. So 11116, or this 11 right here will become 11. Okay, so we have 11B6. All right, so clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Giovanni. Okay, very good, Mr. Pasito. How about the others?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Good, Mr. Jordan. Okay, very good, Mr. Aswige. Okay, very good. So at least half of you were able to get this one. All right, so moving on, we have another exercise here. Supposedly you will answer this one if we are, in a conventional way of teaching or the face-to-face method. But then again, we are in ODL, so we don't have much time to answer this one anymore. Okay, so I will leave this one as your practice assignment. Okay, and then you can just send me a message, to let me know, or to let me check your work whether you answer this one correctly or no. All right. So the next one right here is conversion of decimal fractions to another basis. So before we're only converting whole numbers. Okay. So whole number decimal into uh, hexadecimal. But in here, we will try to convert a decimal fraction, okay, into another base. So in here, we have these steps. Repeatedly multiplied a given decimal fraction by the base. For example, 2, 8, 16, where you want it to be converted to. Okay, or it could be any base. So it could be 3, it could be 4, it could be 5, etc. etc. Okay, and then separate the product's integer from its fractional part, and then break with the product's integer. So if the product's fractional part is already 0, write all the tallied product's integers by reading them in downward direction. So for you to be able to appreciate this one, what is the steps talking about? So let's uh, go straight to the example. Okay, so we have here fraction only 0.625, and this one is decimal. So it is asking us to convert this one into binary. Okay, so before, if it's a whole number, we keep on dividing the integer part. Okay, but in here, we're going to multiply it to where you want it to be converted to. But this time, we're not getting the integer part. We are getting the fraction part. Okay, so it's quite the opposite of what we have in, or what process we did in a whole number decimal. Okay, so in here it's fraction. So 0.625 times 2. So times 2 came from this one binary. So it's equal to 1.25. So just separate the integer, okay, from the fraction. So we now have integer right here and then the fraction part right here. So the one that we're going to get is the fraction part, or the fraction number or result. So 0.25 times 2 is 0.5. Okay, so 0 right here and then 0.5 right here. Okay, and then 0.5 times 2 is 1. And then the fraction part now is 0. So in here, once we reach the fractional part is already 0, then that's the time that we will stop multiplying the fraction part. Okay, so in here, the one that we're going to get as our final answer is the integer part. Okay, but instead of from bottom to top, in here it's from top to bottom. So yeah, it's quite the opposite of the one we have a while ago. So we have a final answer of 101. So since we're talking about decimals, so this one will be in a decimal format. So 0.101 base 2. So that's the equivalent value of this decimal if you're going to convert that 1 to binary. All right. So were you guys able to follow this one so far? Okay, very good, Mr. Giovanni. How about the others? Okay, very good, Miss Kyla. Okay, very good, Mr. Mangawang. Sir, paano po naging 0.101? Right here. So once this one became 0, then that's the time that you will stop multiplying. And then whatever is the result in integer, so we will read this one from top to bottom. I mean, saan galing po yung 0 sa simula? Ah, by default, since we are talking about decimal fractions, so we have to have a format of decimal results also. So of course, from decimal, of course, if you're going to convert that one into another number, it's still decimal. Okay, so that is why we have 0 point something right here. Okay, so 0.625 to from decimal, and then 0.101 to binary. Okay, since we're talking about fraction. All right. So yeah, I hope you guys were able to get this one. Next, we have another example. So another fraction, and then it wanted us to convert this one to binary. So we have a multiplier by, of course, by 2, since that is where it's being asked to convert this decimal to. So 0.6875 times 2 will get 1.375. So just, use your calculator. Okay, since, this number is already quite complicated. So 1.375, so just separate those two integer to the fraction part, and then get the fraction part. So 0.375 times 2, we will get 0.75. So 0 on the integer and then 0.75 on the fraction. So 0.75 times 2 is 1.5. So 1 on the integer and then 0.5 on the fraction. So in here, it's already obvious. So 0.5 times 2 is 1. So in fraction part, it is now 0. So that is now the time that you will stop multiplying the integer, I mean the fraction part. And then you can now read the integer column from top to bottom as your final answer. So in here, we have a result of 1011 or 0.1011 base 2. Okay, so just a correction regarding with this one. So this one should not be here. So this one is 0.6875 base 10. Okay, and then the equivalent of this decimal to binary is 0.1011. Okay, so clear so far? Okay, very good, Miss Emily. Very good, Mr. Giovanni. Miss Christian, Mr. Mangawang, Mr. Renjon, Miss Kyla, Mr. Christian. All right, so it's good that at least half of you, or maybe 80% of students who are in here right now, were able to get this one. Okay, so let's have more example. But in here, instead of binary, we are now talking about octal. So all you need to do is change your multiplier from 2 to 8. Okay, and everything is the same. Okay, so 0.35935 times 8 will give you 2.875, and then just get the zero point 0.8, or the fraction part. 0.875 times 8 will give you exactly 7. So remainder, I mean fraction, 0. So once this one is 0, then you can read the integer product from top to bottom. So 27, or 0.27 base 8, since that one is in octal. Okay, so I hope this one's clear, since this one is super simple. All you need to do is change your multiplier. So moving on, we have here now the combination of whole number and the decimal, or the fraction part. So all you need to do is solve them separately. So one solution for the whole number, and then another solution for the fraction part. So whatever you have learned on how to solve, or how to convert the whole number decimal into any base, then just apply that one right here. The same with the fraction. So whatever you guys have learned with this one, then just apply it on the fraction part. So in here we have bottom to top, and then in here we have top to bottom. So in here we have divisor, we divide, but in here we have multiplication. Okay, so in here the one that we're going to get as our final answer is on the remainder part, but in here the one that we're going to get as our final answer is the integer. All right, so I'll give you guys 1 minute to 2 minutes to analyze this one, and then let me know if you were able to understand this one already. Okay, so I'll just get a water. I'll be back in a minute. All right, so you have a question. So, sir, saan galing yung 0.52? Ah, this one came from here. Okay, on the fraction part. Okay, 52 or 0.52. So this is the solution for the integer part or the whole number, and then this is the solution for the fraction part or the decimal part. Okay, parang confusing yun na decimal is for whole number. Alright, so decimal, no, fraction part. Okay, so that one might confuse you, the word decimal, because we have a decimal base. So again, we have a solution in here for whole numbers, and then we have a solution here for the fractional part. Okay. Hello, Mr. Jordan. Okay. So I thought you were not in front of your screen. How about the others? What are your questions or clarifications? Okay, so let me just ask you guys one by one. Miss Danny, Miss Danny Chris.
Yes, sir.
So were you able to follow so far?
Yes po.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How about you, Miss Hidayah? Okay, so maybe she's not in front of her computer. How about you, Mr. Ban Egg? Okay, so Miss Kyla.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Opo, sir.
All right, that's good then. Okay, Jordan and Kyla is already good. How about you, Mr. Kenneth and Giovanni?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, Mr. Giovanni. How about you, Mr. Kenneth?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Opo, sir.
How about you, Mr. Mangawang?
Yes, sir.
All right. How about you, Mr. Haniel?
Yes, sir.
Haniel or Hiniel? How do you pronounce your name?
Hanyel, sir.
Haniel. Okay. How about you, Mr. Rex?
All good, sir.
All right. Sir Christian?
Nakuha, sir.
Parang alanganin ah. How many percent?
90%, sir.
Okay, sige. Practice lang yun. Magiging 100% yan. How about you, Miss Emily?
Naintindihan ko po, sir.
Sure?
Yes, sir.
All right. How about you, Mr. Adrian?
Clear po, sir. Clear.
Okay, good. And Mr. Ramji? Okay. How about you, Miss Shashi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where is your family came from? May lahi ka bang foreigner? Susano?
Wala po, sir. I'm from Abra po.
Okay. Ganda ng last name mo. Very unique. Anyway, how about you, Mr. Pasito?
Nuggets, sir.
Okay, nuggets. Chicken. Alright, that's good then. Okay, so again, we just have another exercises here wherein supposedly you will answer this one if we are in a face-to-face method. And then here's the summary on the conversion that you can do from binary to octal, octal to binary, hexadecimal to octal, hexadecimal to binary, etc., etc. Okay, So in here, as you guys can see, you can convert decimal to any base. Okay, and then you can also convert binary to hexadecimal, binary to octal, and then binary to decimal. But you cannot convert binary to any base. Okay, there is a way. Okay, so you have to convert that one to decimal first before you can convert that one to any base. Okay, and many more. So just see the arrows where it is going. So that's the possibilities that you can convert that base to that certain base. All right. So moving on, we have here hexadecimal to binary conversion. So if we have decimal to binary, just like this one before, right here, decimal to binary, we also have binary to decimal. Okay, which is now this one. So just the opposite, of course. So 0, 0 is 0, up to 1, 1, 1, 1 is F. Okay, so I will not explain this one anymore since you guys have already learned on how to convert hexadecimal to binary, binary to hexadecimal. So in binary, it's always being represented by hex digit, or this hex right here is 4 binary bits. So it's always 4 binary. Okay. So let's have an example on how to convert hexadecimal to a binary conversion. So this one is actually super easy. So just separate those character into, maybe one space apart. And then you can now solve that one character to be converted into a binary. So 1 is 0, 0, 0, 1. And, oops, may napindot ako. And then A right here is 10. So you need 8 and then 2. So it's 1, 0, 1, 0. And then F is, of course, 15, which is 1, 1, 1, 1. So 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 15. And then 5 is 0, 1, 0, 1, or 4 plus 1. Okay, so that's it already. That's the final answer. Okay, you can already have this one as your final answer, as your binary conversion. Or if you want, more simplified or more compact answer, then you can remove the zeros right here. So it will not affect the value of your final answer. So you can write it as something like this: 1 space 1010 space 1111 space 0101 base 2. Okay. So clear so far on how to convert hexadecimal to binary? Hello, guys.
Yes, sir.
Clear po, sir. Clear.
All right, very good. Okay, so since we don't have enough time anymore, so we will just continue the rest next meeting, okay, this coming Friday. So now we will only maybe have 2 meetings, and then the rest will be given as your time to take the quiz. So yeah, so that's it for now. And if you guys have more questions, so feel free to message me anytime. Okay. So goodbye and thank you guys. See you next meeting.
Bye, sir.
Bye,
Thank you.
sir.
Bye, sir.
Hi, sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Hi, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you then.
May lunch.